Okay. Let's see. Oh, I got this. Hold on a second. There you go. Yes. There we go. All right, sounds good. App, Facebook, people on. Okay. All right, let's get started. B'Shem Hashem Na'aseh v'Natzliach, Shir Torah, Bruchim Habayim. We're back here on our Wednesday night, Stump the Rabbi, part 229, several years going, and Baruch Hashem answering hundreds, if not thousands of questions over the years, after giving you some Divrei Torah about relevant and current issues that pertain to everybody's life. We then ask, have you ask some questions, and Bezat Hashem HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us the answers. Tonight's shiur is going to be for the Refuah Shlema and Atzlacha Rabbah for Rabbi Ephraim ben Shulamit, Rabbanit Sarah bat Anat, Rabbanit Levana bat Sarah, Sarah bat Levana, Avi Mori David ben Nesriya, Imi Morati Doris bat Jora, and Shlomo Eliezer Zev ben Chana. Kadosh Baruch Hu bless them, bracha, v'atzlacha, them and all of the donors and supporters and partners that we have to help the organization do all the wonderful things that we're doing, Baruch Hashem. Anyone that hasn't noticed, we launched our annual campaign for Kimcha de Pischa, the Pesach campaign, to raise as much money as possible to help the poor people in Israel. Last night we spoke about it briefly, and there's been major updates since last night, where we had a whole lot more avrechim, a whole lot more Torah scholars, righteous tzaddikim come to us than we even expected. So the changes are, instead of having the 800 avrechim and several hundred, I think somewhere around 600 families that are going to be getting food baskets and so on, so somewhere around 1,500 families. The number has now increased, where we're going to have 1,000 avrechim completing the Shas in a single day, twice, two different events, one in Jerusalem, one in Tveria. The first event is going to be, I believe, Sunday, and the second one will be just a few days later. So that's a big thing, and each one of these avrachim, these 1,000 avrachim, is going to get money to help them and their family, which on the average are 11 people, to get money to eat for the holiday, for Pesach. And then in addition to those 1,000 families, those 1,000 avrachim, we have quite a few other families that need our help. And we simply can't say no. We just have to rely on HaKadosh Baruch Hu to provide for us, to give us the ability to do it. But we've already committed and we've said yes, and we've made the orders with the supermarkets, with the merchants, and with everybody. Already started transferring whatever money we needed to make down payments and so on. In so many words, since last night, the estimated 12,000 people that we're expecting to feed in this holiday increased to well over 18,000. 18,000 people, Baruch Hashem and Be'ezrat Hashem, are going to get food and financial assistance from Be'ezrat Hashem this holiday. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we're looking for as many of you as possible to partner with us, to help us to have a piece of this extraordinary mitzvah, to prepare for the holiday. But the question is, why would anybody want to give of theirs, of the money they worked hard for, and to give it to a bunch of people that they don't know? Now, of course, yes, it's a nice deed, it's nice things to do, but we see that there's quite a few people that either they don't like to give, or if they give their spare change. They give whatever they feel like they could live without, let's say. They can't live without a $50,000 kitchen or a $100,000 car, but they can live without $50 here and there. But in reality, in Shemaim, the HaKadosh Baruch Hu wants us to be the opposite of that. Now, why would anybody want to be the opposite of that? Parashat Pekudei, Rabotai, is the last parasha in Sefer Shmot, in the book of Exodus, and this is the part where we're learning about all the building of the Mishkan, the different parts, and certainly part of it is also the Bigdei Kehuna, the 8 different garments of the Kohen Gadol. And this parasha has an endless amount of teachings, but we're going to focus on something that I'm sure you have not heard enough about. And the subject is Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova. What do you know about Ayin Tova? We've all heard endless warnings and stories about Ayin Hara. A week does not go by without somebody asking me about how to get rid of Ayin Hara, evil eye, that people have put on them, or they think they've put on them. But few people understand the significance of Ayin Tova, a good eye. In Parashat Pekudei, Am Yisrael is building the Mishkan and donating above and beyond the norm. People are literally giving the best and most valuable possessions that they have. And in the process, we hear about the Kohen Gadol, and one part of the 8 garments of the Kohen Gadol is the Choshen, the famous Choshen that, of course, is the favorite among children and adults alike. It's beautiful, it's holy, and we have some questions about it that we need to answer. First and foremost, why did Aaron HaKohen merit to get the Choshen? Like, what does the Choshen do for Am Yisrael? Is it just beautiful with nice jewels? Or is there something else to it? And why did Aaron HaKohen merit to be the one that got it? Of course, other Kohanim Gdolim got it after, but of course the biggest reason is Aaron HaKohen. Understanding why Aaron HaKohen got it will help us understand the value of Emunah. Understanding Emunah to the point where a person knows the path of how to get to mastering Emunah will help us even reach the greatness of having Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova, Rabotai. Parashat Pekudei, chapter 39, verse number 15, says, Vayasu al hachoshen shalsherot gavlut maaseh avot zahav tahor. For the breastplate, the choshen breastplate that they made, they made chains for it, chains at the edges of braided craftsmanship and pure gold. So now, we see that this choshen is not just a collection of jewels. Every part of it has significance. In fact, the Gemara says in multiple places that every garment of the Kohen Gadol had a specific significance to bring merits and mercy and blessings for Am Yisrael. And the Midrash says that Aaron HaKohen merited to be the one to have the choshen because when he heard that Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen by HaKadosh Baruch Hu to be the leader of Am Yisrael, to be the prophet of all prophets, even though he is his younger brother, Aaron HaKohen was truly happy in his heart. Usually, people compete, not only with their siblings, with their brothers and sisters, but they certainly compete with everyone else, even people they don't even know. Many times people take competition to such an extent where they literally lose sleep at night because they're worried about what their competition is doing. How? How did he get a new house? How did he get another investment? How did he get another client? How did he take that client from? How did this? How did that? People are very worried about their competition. Even if their competition doesn't even know they exist. And this starts at childhood many times, where you give the kids a present. Instead of enjoying the present that they got, the first thing they look at is what did everybody else get? Or what color did you get? Oh, how big did you get? Or how come he got more? Or how come he got less? It's a competition. Constant competition. Well, he did better than you. That's why he got a bigger present. Oh, really? Wow. And they feel bad about it. As they grow up, if they don't learn more and more Torah and start fixing their midot, this trait becomes worse. Why? They start becoming jealous of other people's stuff, not just their siblings, which is a natural tendency, but they become jealous of strangers. Start looking at, oh, look at this guy, he got a new bike. How come he got a new bike? I don't have a new bike. Oh, look at them, they're doing remodeling to their house. How come they're getting a remodeling to their house? We don't have our house is almost as old as the Bet HaMikdash. How come? Oh, look at them. They got a new car. They had a new car last year. Now they have another new car. We're still using the original Ford Model T. How come? How come they? Oh, you heard? He just got married to the Gvir's daughter. How come he got such a good girl? How come she got such a good guy? How come? Oh, you heard what they're doing? They just launched a new product. New product? How? They just launched a new product last month. Yeah, it's another new product, and this one is even better than the last one. What about us? No, I don't know. We're still working on our fixing. We're still working on fixing the original. How come they're getting so much more than us? And people focus on their competition so much so that they lose focus on what they're supposed to be doing. And sometimes, even if somebody is their beloved, their brother, their sister, their partner, their best friend, when they hear that this person got something that they want for themselves, even if it's just a simple vacation picture that makes the person look happy, they become jealous. In the best case scenario, they're not so happy that somebody else got more than them. They go into a housewarming party, Chanukat Habayit, instead of coming there with excitement to bless somebody, a Mazal Tov, they start counting all the light fixtures. How many lights does he have? Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 15, 16. How many lights do you have? What's the electric bill here? What did I send you a bill? Are you asking because you want to pay it? Or are you asking because you're jealous? How many bathrooms you have here? How much you paying rent? Did you buy or did you rent? And people are constantly counting other people's money. One of the lowest forms of humanity. But unfortunately, it's coming. People spend entire days and parts of their life talking about the success of others. This billionaire and that millionaire and this celebrity and that business success. People are interested in that stuff. So much so that they forget that they have work to do themselves. But they're not interested because they're happy to hear that this guy signed a big contract, or this person married a nice person, or that person just got something they've worked really hard for. No. They're looking at it with jealousy, with envy, and in a polite way, they're not happy that other people are succeeding. And this leads to ayin hara, evil eye. This is the reason why a person has to be very careful before they decide to put themselves and their business and their life in the spotlight. Because the more you succeed, the more people are looking at you and certainly can bring ayin hara on you, even if they mean well. If they're not happy in their heart for your success, they have a little bit of envy and jealousy. Unfortunately, it's not a good thing for you, not just them. But what's Ayin Tova? Ayin Tova is what Aaron HaKohen had. When he heard that Moshe Rabbeinu was chosen to be the leader, despite the fact that he was younger, the fact that he wasn't with Am Yisrael for so many years while Aaron HaKohen was, he was chosen. Aaron HaKohen was genuinely happy. And how do we know he was genuinely happy, completely to the highest level, even more so than if he would have been picked himself? Because HaKadosh Baruch Hu gave him the choshen. But what does the choshen have to do with that? What is it? You get a gift? You did a good thing, you get a cookie? What is it? Before we answer that, as we learned from our own dear Rabbi Ephraim, we have to understand what is the choshen. The Gemara in Masechet Zvachim, page 88b, says that the choshen's significance was that it would bring the judgment of heaven lower. In essence, nullify the harshness of the judgment that was decreed from heaven on Am Yisrael. So the choshen's role was not just to be pretty and be used in costumes that every kid likes to wear for Purim and all year round, but rather the choshen was a spiritual tool to lower the harshness of the decrees. In fact, as Rabbi Ephraim noticed, that the fourth section of the Shulchan Aruch is called Choshen Mishpat, which is the section of the Shulchan Aruch, of the codified law of the Torah, that deals with judgment. So Choshen Mishpat, judgment, in the Shulchan Aruch, and the Choshen was to lower judgment. As the Chafetz Chaim said, all of the laws of Choshen Mishpat are really only utilized if a person is not a forgiving person and is not willing to overcome his bad character traits and has weak emunah. Because if a person is forgiving that somebody took something from them, overcharged them, whatever, caused them some type of loss, and they're willing to forgive. In fact, they're willing to strengthen their emunah in order to acknowledge that everything is from heaven. Then, says the Chafetz Chaim, to such a person with a higher level of emunah and a desire to overcome their traits and forgive, to such a person, there's no need to use the laws of Choshen Mishpat. Because you know that what's decreed for you is yours. And as the sages taught in the Gemara, no one can take what's yours. Whatever Hashem decreed for you is for you. Whether it's a profit or a loss, shame or joy, suffering or good health, whatever it is, whatever is decreed for you to receive from Hashem, no one can take from you. And when a person has a higher level of emunah and is willing to fix their flawed character traits, they're quickly going to realize that they're not here to fix the world by showing people that they're wrong and making an example. Look, I'm going to make an example of this guy so he's going to know to never overcharge people again, to never be late again, to never lie again. That's not your job. Hashem brings judgment without needing your help. He's been doing it by himself since the beginning. He's still doing it even if you think you're helping him. You don't need to judge anybody. You need to judge yourself. In reality, that most people are not at this level, says the Chafetz Chaim. Most people don't have a high level of emunah. Most people are not willing to overcome their ego, that someone took advantage of them, someone took from them. So they need the laws of Choshen Mishpat to know what the actual decree is, to know what the law is. Now, the Choshen we know now was to lower the harshness of the decrees. But as we read in Exodus 39:15 just now, that the Choshen had chains in order to connect it to the ephod, in order to keep it close to the heart of Aaron HaKohen. Now there were many ways to keep this Choshen still. Could have used rope, could have used, instead of a chain, could have used some type of string, even from precious metal, like a bracelet of some kind. But a chains of gold were chosen. The Chafetz Chaim says that just like people have a tzedakah box in their house, their business, and if they don't, they should, where they put money in there and eventually give it to holy organizations like Be'ezrat Hashem. People should also have, says the Chafetz Chaim, a shalom box. What's a shalom box? It's a box that you put money in. From time to time, you have money, you have an extra $5, $10, $2, 10 cents, whatever it is, you keep putting money in it. And any time somebody argues with you over money, Chafetz Chaim says, go to the shalom box, take the money that's in the box, and avoid the fight. No need to fight. the lineage of Chassidut began with the Baal Shem Tov, had extraordinary tzaddikim, one after another. And the seventh generation after the Baal Shem Tov was the Chidushei Arim, the Rabbi Yitzchak Meir Alter, who wrote the Sefer Chidushei Arim in the 1800s, but he also wrote the Sefer Azchut, the Book of Merits, in order to highlight the merits of Am Yisrael. So he, this extraordinary tzaddik, that was looking for the goodness in Am Yisrael, said that there's one character trait that he worked on for 18 years. And that was Ayin Tova. Ayin Tova, to see the success of other people and become genuinely happy as a result of it. Not your success. And despite your current failure, if you're failing, but seeing other people succeed makes you happy. Now, the more elevated you are in spirituality, the easier it becomes to be happy to see people succeed materially, because you know that this is a temporary world. The car, the house, the whatever it is, it's here today, gone tomorrow. They call you a billionaire today. Tomorrow you could be declaring bankruptcy, like the people that were running the company that just declared bankruptcy called 23andMe, that was gathering people's DNA and telling them who they think they are. And now there's a critical problem that over 7 million people have of what's going to happen with all of these DNA records of this bankrupt company that was worth $6 billion just a few years ago. The Chidushei Arim says that he worked on Ayin Tova in order to develop true happiness when he sees the material and the spiritual success of others. While the material success is much easier to cause a elevated person to be happy, because great, Hashem blessed them with money, good, they'll have food, they'll be able to do good things with it. But the spiritual success, when you see someone and they pray with a lot of kavanah, or they just completed an enormous amount of Torah, or they remember a lot of Torah, or they gave a great shiur, or they wrote a great book that people love and they're enjoying and they're getting chizuk from it, even though there's the kinat sofrim is marbei chokhmah, the Hashem created jealousy to be used for one chacham to be jealous of the other in order to elevate the ambition of both to get even higher. But still, when you see somebody succeed much more than you in the world of Torah, sometimes it's hard to be happy that he did a siyum and you're still starting. But the Chidushei Arim says 18 years he worked on this midah to the point where he was able to be happy as a result of other people's success in every aspect, even more than his own success. So the choshen, the Kohen Gadol's choshen, that lowers the judgment, has these golden chains to tie it to the heart. Because the chains, unlike something that's like a bracelet of some kind, the chains are signifying that Am Yisrael has to know that we are just like a chain, where each link is the same size and value as the next. And if one breaks, the whole chain becomes worthless. Because the biggest reason of why it exists is in order to connect two things. But if there's a break, everyone loses. In order for a Jew to elevate themselves to the path of having Ain Tovah, they have to see their fellow Jews as part of the same chain, where you don't view yourself as a bigger part or more important part. Each one is part of the chain. Each one has its significance. Each one has its beauty. But another reason why it's made out of gold is Ze li v'anveu. This is my God and I will glorify him. We want to do mitzvot in the best possible way to show HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we love the mitzvot. Because it's for our benefit, not his. He doesn't benefit out of the choshen. He doesn't benefit out of the tzedakah. He doesn't benefit out of you keeping Shabbat. He created all of those for your benefit, for our benefit. And when we glorify the Torah and its mitzvot, we're showing HaKadosh Baruch Hu that we know this is for our benefit and we love him for it. And we love the mitzvot. We see them as gifts. In fact, when it comes to the connection between Am Yisrael, the Baal Shem Tov famously said that if Am Yisrael treated each other like a chain, where each one held on to the other without letting go, so even if he fell spiritually, you're lifting him up. Why? We're all part of the same chain. She fell down spiritually, you lift her up. We're all part of the same chain. Don't break, don't break. We all need you. If each Jew held on to the other to elevate ourselves to be part of the chain of mitzvot and Torah and Kedushat Hashem, Am Yisrael would be able to reach all the way to the Kisei HaKavod. Imagine every Jew holding the hand of another Jew and go straight up. Be able to reach all the way to the Kisei HaKavod. The problem, though, is because people do not have a high level of emunah, they believe that when other people succeed, somehow it's to their detriment. Somehow his success, somehow her success means that you lost out. Because he got a big house, or she got a big raise at her job, or they got some type of inheritance, when their friends and family see it without the Ain Tovah, but rather Ain Hara, it's because they feel that somehow they lost out as a result of that person's benefit. Somehow they feel like they deserved it. This is the reason why people that are jealous, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decrees they will not be resurrected by the dead, resurrected at the time of the resurrection of the dead. Why? Because jealousy is a form of heresy. It's in essence thinking that Hashem made a mistake, that he gave him or her something that he should have given you. Heretics do not get resurrected with the dead. And the reason why people have different forms of jealousy is because of a weakness of emunah. A weakness in the fact that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed for you to receive, you got it. No one can take it from you. What's his is his, and what's yours is yours. He can never touch what belongs to you, even if he tries. And you can never touch what belongs to him, even if you try. Even if he actually outright steals something from you, if it belongs to you, if Hashem decreed that this is yours, you will get it back. So the more we have emunah, the easier it is for us to have ayin tova. Why? Because we know that, oh, he got a blessing now. Look, he found a wife. Look, they just had kids. Look, they had good blessings. Baruch Hashem. Great. Wonderful. He just became a billionaire. Baruch Hashem. Amazing. Why? You can ask him for a donation? No, mapitom. You ask him for a loan? No, mapitom. But you need. No, but still, doesn't matter. Let him enjoy. His is his. If he wants to give, if he wants to help, he's going to help. But no. I'm happy because he's happy, because he's succeeding. This is also, by the way, the reason why, if anyone ever asked themselves why they like to donate while other people don't like to donate. There are some people that they'll come to a shiur, they'll get free stuff, they'll get books, they'll ask questions, but they won't contribute. They won't contribute. Or if they contribute so little, it's as if they didn't. While others make contributing as a key part to their life, even if they don't necessarily watch every lecture or get every free giveaway, they like to give. Why? This all has to do with ayin tova. While the person that likes to give, he likes to give because he wants other people to also have a part of his blessing. He also wants other people to have good. She wants other people to be happy, other people to eat, other people to benefit. While the other person that doesn't like to give, they may lie to themselves and say, no, I can't afford it because I have credit card bills, or I have this bill, I have that. No, it's really you don't like to give. You're cheap, you're stingy. Why? Because you worry that if you give to others, somehow you will lose out as a result. That what other people benefit, somehow it's to your detriment. It's ayin ra. Ayin ra is one of the top ways to ruin your own blessings and your own life and your own happiness. It all has to do with emunah. Do you believe that a Kadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, or do you think you do? Now, everyone knows what Chazal teaches. It's in the Torah, it's in the Mishnah, it's in the Gemara, it's in the Zohar, it's in Sifrei Hasidim, everywhere, that the source of all blessings is Shabbat. Shabbat is the tool that Hashem uses to bring blessings. In fact, as I heard from Rav Biderman, Shichyeh, in the name of the Khatam Sofer, that the entire blessing for parnasah, for sustenance, for success, monetary success, the entire blessing of parnasah for a Jew, for the 6 days that he's going to work, relies on Shabbat. Now, there are many things that could ruin the blessing. As my dear friend from Eretz Yisrael sent me a whole list with sources of different things that ruin the blessings. Whether it's desecrating Shabbat, as the Zohar Kadosh says in Parashat Shmot, or dishonest business practices, as the Gemara Masechet Bava Batra, page 88b, speaking Lashon Hara, as the Chafetz Chaim says in the Gemara Masechet Arachin, page 15, arrogance, not giving tzedakah, lack of emunah, fighting with shlom bayit, not having shlom bayit, mocking people, wasting seed, forbidden thoughts, not guarding your brit, anger, lack of simcha, for looking at things that you're not allowed to look at, forbidden images, eating without blessing, chilul Hashem, breaking a vow, laziness, oversleeping, disrespecting your parents, lack of gratitude, or worse yet, ingratitude, being stingy, causing other people financial harm, being a show-off with your wealth, being a glutton, being late with your payment to your employees or people that you owe money to, when you don't have to be late, you just simply choose to be late, shaming other people, being jealous, overcharging people and exploiting them, mistreating converts, orphans, or widows, mocking Torah scholars, mocking the Torah, refusing to forgive, cursing people, vulgar speech, ignoring modesty in others, and all of this is full of sources. Literally, it's genius list that when you read it and you understand this is the word of the living God, it literally makes you scared to death to do anything wrong, because every one of these things is something you can do just like that if you're not paying attention to your actions. And every one of these things can ruin the parnasah that a person is supposed to get. But as one of them said, Shabbat, and the Khatam Sofer says that the blessing for your 6 days of work that you're allowed to work on, whether you work 6 days or 4 days or 1 day, 1 hour, it doesn't make a difference. The blessing you will have for your work relies on Shabbat. But as the Mishnah says, Hashem decreed that the best vessel to protect a blessing is shalom, is peace. And therefore, says the Khatam Sofer, the Satan, who cannot stand to see Jewish people with success, with money, uses all of his strength, all of his tools, in order to create anger and animosity in your house during Shabbat. Because Shabbat is the bracha, and shalom is the vessel that holds this bracha to be utilized during the 6 days. And therefore, when he causes you and your kids, you and your husband, you and your wife to fight on Shabbat, you just destroyed your parnasah for the week. Why? You got the blessing because you kept Shabbat, but you broke the vessel that was holding on to it. You broke the shalom. Ruins the parnasah. Now, a person says, no, listen, we don't fight on Shabbat, but some of the other things you said about not liking to give or not being happy for other people, not going to tell anybody else, but it pertains to, I feel it in my heart, the guy is saying. Not so happy that my former classmate has a $5 million net worth and I have a $5 net worth. Not happy about that. What, are you not happy that you don't have, or are you not happy that he has? A little bit of both, he says. Many people are not happy that other people are more successful to them. In fact, one of the things that causes them the worst anxiety and unhappiness is other people's greater success than them. In fact, one of their motivators to want to succeed is because they want to have more than other people. Not because they just want to, like they say, I want to do a lot of good things. What's motivating? Because they see other people. Look, I remember this classmate, this guy, I don't understand how he has more than me, how he started an AI company, how he started a tech company, how he started a law, and I'm still, a plumber, I'm still a this, I don't understand. Wait, why are you so unhappy about his success? Now, if you're saying you want to be more successful, fine, no problem. But what does it have to do with the fact that your former classmate, neighbor, brother, sister, younger, older, is successful? What does it have to do with it? Why aren't they two independent issues? You know why? Because you're unhappy that other people are successful. Now, why are you unhappy because other people are successful? Because subconsciously you think that their success is to your detriment. Somehow they stole your money, even though it wasn't yours. And that all has to do with the lack of emunah. And if you have a lack of emunah, certainly you're never going to get to having ayin tova. And if you don't have Ayin Tovah, you're missing out on the greatest tool to ultimate success and happiness in every aspect. Rabbi Yaron in his shiur, in last week's parasha, said a couple of extraordinary stories that put things in perspective. He says, there was once a speaker giving chizuk to a keilah. There's about 100 people in the crowd. And as the rabbi is speaking, giving them chizuk, words of emunah, suddenly some messenger comes up to him and gives him a little note. The rabbi opens up the note and he gets visibly excited. Everybody notices. They want to know what happened. And he says to them, I have wonderful news. We just received a donation from someone that prefers to be anonymous, but it's such a great donation that he wants us to even share it with the people that came to this shiur. Of course, everybody's happy. Who doesn't need a little bit of help? Whether it's for Shabbat, for the kids, for medical, for whatever. Sure, everybody wants to get. He says there's one condition. What's the condition? Each person picks somebody else that they're going to arm wrestle. And whoever wins, each time that you win, you take down the other guy, you get $5. So there was 100 people, that means 50 people paired with other 50 people. And they had 10 minutes to arm wrestle as many times as they can to see how many times they can win. After 10 minutes, of course, everyone's tired, but they did what they had to do. The rabbi asks the first pair, okay, so what was the tally? And Yankele says, I won 5 times, and Reuven won 3 times. Okay, great. So you get $25, and he gets $15. All right, listen, it's better than nothing. It's great. The next guy, so Shimon, what'd you get? I won 4 times. Okay, what about him? He won twice. All right, so you get $20. He gets $10. All right, Baruch Hashem. And that's the way I went, pair after pair, 3 times and 4 times, 2 times, 5 times. Everyone was more or less the same until they got to the last pair. When they got to the last pair, Yudah says, I won 300 times. Huh? 300 times? Okay. What did Yankele get? He also got 300 times. Whoa! Everyone is amazed. How is that possible? You won 300 times, he won 300 times? How did you do it? So Yudah Tzaddik said to them, while everybody else was trying to win by defeating their fellow, we decided we're going to help each other. So we figured, I'll let him win, and he'll let me win as many times as we can. Why should I be the resistance for his success? And why should he be the resistance to my success? And instead of fighting each other and trying to stop each other from succeeding, like everybody else is doing in the world, we actually helped each other succeed. So he won, I won. Won. There's no pressure. We just tried to do it as many times as possible, and both guys got to 300. That means each one got 1,500. From here we see how peace brings a whole lot more blessings than wanting to cause other people failure in order for you to succeed. There was one time a rich woman that lived in a town called Shinove, or Shinove. And this rich Jewish woman, she had a maidservant that was a young orphan girl that lived with her. And the arrangement was that she's going to give her a room in the house, the big fancy house that she had. She has her own room. And she has to take care of the house. She has to take care of the shopping. She has to go with her everywhere. And she gets also a little bit of money too. One day, the two of them, the rich woman and her young orphan maidservant, both Jews, they go to the market. And as they go to the market, they see that it's publicized that the lottery award to whoever wins is an astronomical number. Something no one has ever even seen before. 1,000,000 rubles. And even second place is 10,000 rubles. Now, even though the rich woman already has plenty of money, as the Gemara in Masechet Sukkah says, you give them 100, they want 200, you give them 200, they want 400. Someone that loves money will never have enough money. So she bought herself a ticket. And even the young orphan girl bought herself a ticket with a little bit of money that she had. And in those days, you had to buy the ticket and you had to register your address. That this address belongs to that ticket. There was no internet or TV or anything like that in those days. In order for them to know who the one, they look at the ticket number and the addresses and they go to that person's house and tell them that they won. So they both bought a ticket. Who knows? Maybe we'll win. Maybe she'll win. Who knows? So, a few days passed. At 7 o'clock in the morning, and the messenger from the lottery knocks on the door. The young orphan girl, sleeping. It's early in the morning. She doesn't start her day yet. But the rich businesswoman was up. She was awake. She was an early riser. She opens the door. She's happy to see messengers from the lottery. He said to her, "Ma'am, the ticket that's registered to this address won the second prize in the lottery. Congratulations. 10,000 rubles. Oh, wow. Wonderful, wonderful. Thank you. What great way to start the day. Thank you." He gives her the confirmation that has the number on it, leaves, and she looks at the confirmation, and then she realizes, wait a minute, this is not my number. Oh, this is the maidservant's number. Now, even though she has plenty of money, she also has plenty of Yetzirah. And her Yetzirah overcame every part of her goodness for a few moments, to the point that she did something that unheard of. She snuck into the poor little orphan's girl's room and switched the tickets while the girl's sleeping. She switched the tickets and went right away to the lottery to collect her 10,000 rubles. She figured, listen, technically she's my servant. What's hers is mine. Technically, the money she got, I paid it. She rationalized her evil. A few hours later, there was another knock on the door. Now, by now, the young orphan girl is awake. And she opens the door. And it's another representative from the lottery. Ma'am, we have confirmed that this address that has this ticket won the grand prize of the lottery, 1 million rubles. Wow, amazing. Shtabach Shimolad, Baruch Hashem. Wow, amazing. Shtabach Shimolad. Oy, oy, oy. You're welcome to come collect your prize as soon as possible. And of course, this changes her entire life. This is the blessing of all blessings. But over our shoulder, the rich woman is eating our heart out. Why? The ticket that won the grand prize was her ticket. But she switched it because she was greedy and she went and stole the 10,000. Now, of course, this is eating her heart. But is she going to admit, listen, I stole your ticket? As they say, what are people not going to do for money? And this rich woman says, listen, I have to come clean, you know. I want to do tshuva. Wow, what happened? Listen, I made a mistake. The Yetzirah overcame me. And you know, everybody makes a mistake, but I'm really embarrassed. But I want to do tshuva. So just because I sinned, I don't want you to sin because of me. You know, me sin because of you. Why? What are you talking about? You know, everybody says these things. They try to justify their evil in all types of ways. They call them slick-tongued speakers. He says, listen, really, it's 7 o'clock in the morning. They came and the ticket they won, really, that was your ticket. I actually stole your ticket and I switched it. So, I don't know, I'm sorry I did it. But listen, I just, why should we continue like this? Let me just give you back my ticket, give you back your ticket, you give me back my ticket, and that's it. Let's just move on that way. Of course, the young orphan girl says, what are you talking about? What are you, crazy? Mapitom. First of all, who knows if what you're saying is even true? And second of all, even if you switch the tickets, according to the Torah, that's it. You made the deal, you switched it became my possession, it's my ticket. That's it, I'm not giving it back to you. No, but it's mine. Listen, it's my ticket, it's my reward, it's my money, that's it. Now they went to the Bedin. The Bedin of the Rebbe of Shenave, big tzaddik, kadosh. And both women told him their side of the story. After he hears the story from both of them, he says, I have to review and think about it and give you the answer, the psak. After his review, he tells the women, okay, I've concluded that the psak halacha here is that both tickets belong to the young orphan girl. Now both women are completely surprised. You know, the possibilities in both of their minds is that either everything stays the same or it switches. Never in their wildest dreams did they think that this would possibly be. And the rabbi says to them, you see, HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed this day to be a day of mazal tov, of good fortune for the young woman. And therefore, when the lottery was announced, the ticket that she had in her possession won. But after you switched the tickets, after the rich woman switched the tickets, that didn't change the mazal. Therefore, the second ticket won. Meaning that if it wasn't for that switch, if the rich woman would have kept her ticket, she wouldn't have won. The win, the mazal tov, the fortune belongs to the young girl. And in fact, the fact that you admit that you stole obviously shows that it's her ticket. And once you gave her your ticket, that's it became our property. Either way, that was the psak halacha. But Rabbi Yaron says, look at the musar that you could learn from here. Look at the musar that you could learn from here, from this true story. First of all, one of the things that makes people frustrated is when they work really hard and they don't get results. Or when they see other people get better results when it seems like they work less. So what do? They work and they work extra and they so much extra ishtadlut. They work overtime, they work multiple jobs, they do all types of things above and beyond the necessary effort. And we learn from this story that HaKadosh Baruch Hu runs the world, and therefore, no matter how much ishtadlut you have, the results are going to be the same. If you go above and beyond the necessity of your ishtadlut, not only will you not gain from it, but you'll actually lose, like this woman did. She thought that her extra effort will gain her 10,000. She ended up losing. The second thing is, we learn and we see a confirmation of what the sages said, that whatever HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed that it's yours, no one in the world can take from you, even if they sneak into your room while you're sleeping. What's yours, no one can take away from you. And last but not least, when a person realizes the significance of HaKadosh Baruch Hu's hand in all of their success, they realize that even if you're sleeping, if HaKadosh Baruch Hu decreed for you to get 1,000,000 rubles, $1 million, 1,000,000 bitcoins, 1,000,000 whatever, even if you're sleeping, you're going to get it. So you see, Rabotai Karim, when a person has a proper level of emunah in Hashem, where they realize that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only reason why they have what they have, regardless of what they have. Whether it's a lot or it's a little, whatever success you had, have, or will have, it's all in the hands of HaKadosh Baruch Hu. The only thing that's in your hands is the effort. How much of your time are you going to exert chasing your own tail, thinking that you can get more? And in fact, the higher level of emunah that a person has, the more they utilize their time to connect to Hashem even more, and the less effort they exert to try to improve their fortune. No one is saying don't exert at all. Everybody has to exert to a certain level. It's all based on a certain, on your level of emunah. But to go above and beyond, to the point where a person doesn't have time to learn Torah, doesn't have time to be with his family, doesn't have the ability to be honest in business, doesn't have the ability to be honest with his customers, steals from people, steals from the government. All of this so-called extra effort will never bring you more fortune. In the end, you will only lose out of it. Furthermore, the higher level of emunah that a person has, the more they're going to develop ayin tova, good eye, where they see other people succeed and it makes them happy, regardless of their own success or failure. Why? They see the hand from above feeding everyone. They see the hand from above deciding who gets and who does not. and they're happy that people have good. They're happy that people have fortune. They're happy that people have blessings because they know that their success is not to your detriment, but the opposite. The more you acknowledge that HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the only source of success, and therefore their success is nothing bad for you. It has nothing to do with you. The more you see that Hashem gives blessings, the more you should be happy. You see that your friend, your partner, your whoever got a bigger house, got a bigger fortune, you should be happy. You should be happy for him or her. Even if you're not succeeding. Why? Because you're seeing that Hashem is delivering blessings. What about you? Maybe your time's going to come tomorrow, maybe next month, maybe next year. But it has nothing to do with his blessings. So why not be happy for him? Why not be happy for her that she found a good husband? Why not be happy for them that they're having their kids? Why not be happy for them that their kids are good kids? Why not? Why not have a good eye? What do you benefit out of having an evil eye? You know what you benefit? Nothing. Not only is evil eye cause you to be more miserable than you can possibly imagine. It's literally the source of all misery that people have because they're constantly looking at everybody else's life and they're jealous. So not only does evil eye cause you to be miserable, but it also is heresy that causes you to lose your blessings. When you have a good eye, you bring upon yourself more blessings, and Aaron HaKohen is the prime example of that. He received the choshen because of his good eye. That means that every single Kohen Gadol that ever wore that choshen, every child that ever saw a picture or heard a story about the choshen, every kid that wore a costume of the choshen, every Jew that ever benefited out of the choshen at the time of Mount Sinai or the Bet HaMikdash or even today, benefited out of Aaron's Ayin Tovah. Meaning that it wasn't just a benefit to him, but everyone else benefited as a result of it. And why did he get it? Because he had an Ayin Tovah. He was happy for someone else. Because he knew that what's his is his. And what's mine is mine. He didn't get the position because he took it from me. He got the position because Hashem chose him. And because this was in the heart of Aaron, only HaKadosh Baruch Hu knew it. And only HaKadosh Baruch Hu can testify that that's the case. And that's why he gave him the choshen. When you have Ayin Tovah Rabotai, it improves your life, it improves your perspective, it improves your view on other people. It also makes you a better person because now you want to help other people. You want to donate. You want to give. Why? Because you want other people. You want to be the source of other people's blessings. You're not thinking that if you take from yourself and give to others, it's going to cause you harm. The opposite. By you sharing the blessings that Hashem gave you shows that you're acknowledging the Ayin Tovah and you want other people to have blessings. You want to be part of their blessings. You want to give more to others. Guess what? You end up benefiting even more. When a person likes to give, when a person likes to share, that means they have Ayin Tovah. They want more people to benefit. But when a person is stingy, when a person doesn't like to share, or whatever they share, they're like Cain, where they share their garbage, unlike Hevel, who shared his best, then guess what? You continue in that way, don't think that you'll have a different end than Cain. Why? HaKadosh Baruch Hu is the ultimate giver. And by being stingy, shows that you're nothing like him. The opposite of him. We have to work on Ayin Tovah 100 times more. than the fear that people have from Ayin Hara. Because if you have enough Ayin Tovah, Ayin Hara cannot touch you. And Be'ezrat Hashem, we will succeed to always have Ayin Tovah. As we acknowledge Hashem's big world and endless ability to provide sustenance to all of His creatures beyond our wildest imagination. As He says, Liya kesef Liya zahav, Neum Hashem tzevaot, mine is the money, mine is the gold, says God, the master of legions, everything is His, He doesn't have any shortage. If He wants to give, He will give. Whatever you want, He can give. The question is, why do you deserve it? Don't tell me that you deserve it because they have it. It has nothing to do with you. The more emunah we have in Hashem, that He's the only provider, the easier it is for us to have Ayin Tovah. The more Ayin Tovah we have, the more blessings we'll bring in our life, and the less we have to worry about Ayin Hara. If you're worried about Ayin Hara, check. Maybe you're the source of Ayin Hara. That's why you're so worried about it, because usually people accuse other people of what they really are. So, let's work on Ayin Tovah. Let's push ourselves to be more gracious, to bring more happiness to other people, to have other people celebrate and enjoy no less than we want to. You want to have a seder with lots of meat and 15 different salads? Okay, so donate for other people to have the same thing. You want other people to have good? Okay, that's a good thing. But if you only want yourself to have good, that's not a good thing. That means you have Ayin Hara. We have to get rid of Ayin Hara. Because Ayin Hara, it's the ultimate chametz. And we only have a couple of weeks to get rid of it. Let's get rid of it once and for all. And be kosher not only for Pesach, but kosher for Olam Haba. With Ayin Tovah. All the time. Celebrate when other people get, even if you don't get. Celebrate when other people benefit, even if you don't benefit. I promise you, in the name of the Torah, the happier you are for other people's good, the happier you will be in your life, regardless of what you have. Be happy for other people's success. And you'll see, your life will change. You will never, ever lack anything. Because the blessings are literally endless, beyond material. Ayin Tovah is the greatest blessing you could have. I've only met a few people that I know that have it, and I'm telling you, it's an amazing thing. You should try it. It'll change your life. Much more than Ayin Hara can. With that being said, Rabotai, now we got to the segment of questions where you guys could ask some questions. Be'ezrat Hashem, HaKadosh Baruch Hu will give us the answers. Let's see. Ayin Tovah is good eye. Ayin Ra'ah is evil eye. And Ayin, if you want to spell it in English as a transliteration, is A-Y-I-N. And Tovah is T-O-V-A. And Ra'ah is R-A-A-H, maybe. Should we have Ayin Tovah for Reshaim? No. Obviously, to be happy for Reshaim is not allowed. You have to pray for their destruction, like we say in Amidah, every day, 3 times a day. Alaminim, alamashnim, lo tiyeh tikva, that they will never have any hope, any success, they'll be destroyed. I'm referring to having Ein Tovah on decent people, not wicked heretics. Is it okay for a Jew and a non-Jew to use the symbol of two hands when they're talking in a chat room about praying for someone? Yeah, I mean, you could use the little emoji for it. I don't really see a reason, as long as both of you are believers in Hashem and not some form of idolatry, but I don't really see a problem with it. I know that there's some Chachamim have spoken about using emojis between males and females is not appropriate because it makes makes the two people overly friendly. But again, everything has to be done with tact and with care. It all depends on what you use and how you use it. Why don't Jews believe in Jesus as a prophet? Because our Torah tells us that Jesus was not only a prophet, he wasn't even a donkey of a prophet. He was a wicked person that desecrated the name of God, turned himself into an idol that told people that people should worship him, that he is bigger than the laws of the Torah, he's bigger than Shabbat. And this whole thing about him coming from a virgin is one of the biggest, is the biggest lie in history, since she was married and her husband wanted to divorce her when he found out about this. In fact, this whole thing is just a mockery of the Torah, as the Torah specifically says in Parashat Balak, Hashem is not a man. So to say that God somehow humanized himself is a form of idolatry. And last but not least, and needless to say, but the fact that the New Testament believers claim that this Jesus is a man God is because he was rose from the dead, based on the testimony of a prostitute, is literally another form of mockery of the Torah and also human intellect. To take the testimony of a prostitute and build a whole religion over it is completely ridiculous. And not only that, even if you want to say that he rose from the dead, he's certainly not the first or last person that came back from the dead. The Tanakh is full of stories, and the Gemara is full of stories of people being resurrected, whether it's Eliyahu Navi resurrecting the young boy, or it's Elisha Navi resurrecting another young boy, or even resurrecting a soldier even after he died, where the soldier fell into the same hole or grave that Elisha Navi was buried in, and his body touched the holy body of Elisha Navi and he came back to life. There are literally countless stories of people coming back from the dead in the Torah, but yet this whole new idolatrous religion is built on this story from a prostitute that he came back from the dead. It's complete nonsense. Now, I mean, I could go, you could go further and further about it. I mean, the people that wrote about him, the four parts of the different parts of the New Testament, none of the people that wrote about him ever knew him. And in fact, the authors of the New Testament are not actually the names of the people. Like Matthew is not an author of the book of Matthew. As you see in there, he speaks in the third person. So the whole thing is one human error after another, one fallacy after another. I would highly recommend watching the lectures that I've made about the topic, and of course watching the lectures by the debate that Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi had against a pastor, or the countless debates that Rabbi Tovia Singer has had against different priests, pastors, and different scholars from the Christian world, and literally defeated one after another. The more you learn about the Torah, the more you realize that it's impossible for the New Testament to have any truth in it. Impossible for it to be true. Impossible for the whole Jesus story to be true or valid in any way, shape, or form. The reason why you believe in it is because that's what you were told. That's the way you grew up. That's what you were fed, and you never had the time, inclination, or even the desire to question the story because this is the way you were brought up. I would highly recommend that you use your God-given brain and time in this world to go and investigate the story that you were told and double check all the things that I just said and countless things you're going to learn, and you will see that it becomes impossible to believe in the New Testament as a divine document. It becomes impossible to believe in Jesus as anything but a wicked person. It becomes impossible to believe any part of it. It becomes impossible to believe in anything but the Holy Torah, both the written and the oral Torah. Because one complements the other, one is part of the other. It's one cannot be without the other. But again, this is a process. I have quite a few lectures about it, and of course the other rabbis that I mentioned have many lectures about it, especially Rabbi Tovia Singer has a whole career over it for the last 40 plus years. And you'll see the more you know about the truth, the easier it is for you to identify the lie. Rabbi, do you think there will be a more peaceful route for the land of Israel to be obtained? Yes, of course. Once the Mashiach comes, he will destroy all of the enemies, and there'll be peace in the world. Sure. Yeah, of course. Do you think there's a sect of monks who go about giving scriptures to prophets? No, I think that's just the imagination of people and unfortunately foolishness. Does AI have a soul? No, it's a computer program. What is the best book of Musar for someone going through their conversion process? I would say that you should have something to start out. Perhaps the books by Rabbi Nissim Yagen are very good. They're easy read. They touch the heart. They're clear, and they have an enormous amount of insights from different aspects of the Torah. That's very good to have. I would highly recommend that. A book by Rabbi Yosef Mizrahi, also very good. Books by Rabbi Avigdor Miller, also very good. I would go into something by one of these Chachamim before I would go into some of the older things by the Ramchal or Rabbeinu Yonah or something like that. Or I would go, if you're going to want to learn some of those, like the Mesilat Yesharim or the Igeret Ramban, then I would do it when you are able to complement it with either learning it directly from a rabbi, or Talmid Chacham, or you could learn it from a shiur that a rabbi is giving. Like, for example, if you want to learn the Igeret Gra or the Igeret Ramban, or let's say Pirkei Avot, then you could watch the series of lectures that I've made about the every word in those letters or books, and that way you're able to read it and alongside and actually understand what you're reading, because they're much deeper than what was written more recently. But if you want to learn, let's say, some of the more recent books, then certainly they're easy enough for you to understand at least most of it. If I pay you $100,000, can I become a Jew? Well, first of all, I don't decide whether you become a Jew or not. And number two, the people that I help by guiding them to convert to Judaism, I do it for free. So you don't need to pay me anything. You'll eventually need to pay a bet din that will convert you, whoever the bet din is, some small fee. But to convert to Judaism is not about money. To convert to Judaism is about whether you made the proper life changes and you learned the necessary things to become a Jew. Anyone that says that they'll convert you based on a certain price, meaning that you have to pay them some astronomical amount of money, like 100, 150,000, or even 15,000, then you cannot rely on their conversion or on anything else that they say, because they simply do not care about your soul. They care about your pocket. And that's not a conversion to Judaism, that's capitalism, unfortunately. To convert to Judaism is not about the money. Certainly it does cost money because you have to pay people that are working and helping and so on, whether it's courses or it's books or it's the bet din, but it's never going to cost you that kind of money. You could do mitzvot with that kind of money. You could donate that money. You could help Torah scholars with that money. You could help poor people with that money. But definitely don't need that kind of money to convert to Judaism. And anyone that says that they'll charge you that for conversion, their conversion is not valid. So in essence, you're not getting anything for that 100,000. Does being a Jew have something to do with being an Israelite? No. The Jewish people went through a transition where we started with Avraham Avinu, but Avraham was an Ivri, a Hebrew. Then his grandson, Yaakov, was also called Israel. So his descendants were called Israelites. So from Yaakov Avinu all the way until Mount Sinai, the Jewish people were called Israelites. It's the same people as Avraham Avinu, it's the Hebrews, now called Israelites. And then at Mount Sinai, we became Jews. So the modern day cult that calls themselves Israelites have nothing to do with Judaism, have nothing to do with Torah. It's a bunch of arrogant fools that like to wear Mortal Kombat and Egyptian costumes and scream at people, all types of heretical nonsense, and to invigorate the hatred within people's heart and entice people to violence. And it has nothing to do with Judaism. It's the exact opposite of Judaism. And it's more like the acts of Amalek than it is to be a Jew. So as far as if you talk about the Israelites according to the Torah, that's the same thing as the Jewish people today. It's just that we became Jews officially at Mount Sinai. But the transition was from Avraham being called the Hebrew to his grandson Yaakov called the Israelite, and all of his descendants all the way until Mount Sinai. They were called Israelites. Even Moshe Rabbeinu was called the Israelite until Mount Sinai, where we were officially Jews. And the first time that the word Jew appears in the Tanakh is actually in Megillat Esther. Mordechai the Jew. But Judaism began officially when we received the Torah. Judaism depends on the Torah, not on people's ability to scream or wear costumes or to manipulate words in the way that they want to fit their agenda. And as far as just to show you the level of stupidity that they have, when they hear me in my lectures read the different parts of the Torah, they think that I'm speaking Yiddish. Now, not only does that show their abnormal amount of ignorance to the point where you're not even sure they're human, but it literally shows that they're pulling the wool over everybody's eyes to the point where they put it on themselves too. Because number one, the Torah is written in Hebrew, not in Yiddish. Number two, I was born in Israel. I came to the United States when I was 10 years old. The first language, my mother language, is Hebrew. I don't speak a word of Yiddish. I don't know Yiddish. If somebody speaks to me in Yiddish, I have no idea what they're saying. When I have different books that have words in them in Yiddish, I have to get it translated. So to say that I'm speaking Yiddish, it literally shows that they're so ignorant that if somebody spit in their face, they'll say it's rain. They're just I don't know, they're just dumb to a level of like abnormality. Like I believe that the overwhelming majority of them should be instituted straitjackets instead of Mortal Kombat and different samurai outfits that they wear. They should have straitjackets and all be instituted because they're just violent morons that unfortunately influence people with, just things that apparently make sense to people that are ignorant. But if you go to any Torah scholar, anyone that understands the Torah, you'll see that there's no argument, there's no debate. They're just fools. How does a Jew battle depression and hopelessness in today's world? The more you learn about Torah, the more you will feed your soul the nourishment that it needs to get rid of any negative feeling, specifically depression and anxiety. Depression and anxiety is not a physical status, but rather it's a spiritual status. It's because your soul, your neshama, is poor, is starving, and it's not getting its nourishment. Even if you get money, even if you get physical pleasure, even if you get all of the things of the material world, that's not going to help the depression. That's why you see people like Robin Williams that had over $100 million commit suicide, and countless people from Hollywood that are worth a fortune commit suicide, because even though they had all of the material pleasures of this world, it never changed their spiritual status. The only thing that will elevate your spiritual status is a connection to Hashem. The deepest connection to Hashem is through His Torah. The more you connect through His Torah by not only learning it, but by fulfilling what it says, the more you're nourishing your soul, and thereby you are giving it the only cure for depression that actually exists. What do I think of Lubavitchers that say that the Rebbe Schneerson was the Mashiach? Refuah Shlema. Will Mashiach be born in Israel? And if so, wouldn't that cause Jews to want to return to Israel and have babies? Out of all the questions in the world, this is the questions you ask. Well, the Mashiach is going to be born. He's going to be born. The Neshama of Mashiach is already in the world. Whether he's going to cause people to want to go to Israel, obviously, that's where the salvation is going to come. The Jews are going to come from all four corners of the world. But about having babies, I just don't understand that part. How does that? I just don't understand. How will we know who Mashiach is? Well, it says that Eliyahu Navi is going to declare 3 days before he comes, the Mashiach is going to come. And the prophet Jeremiah says that all of the miracles that we saw in the story of the Exodus, whether it's the 10 plagues, the splitting of the sea, all the things at Mount Sinai, all of those will be surpassed by the miracles that will happen at the time of Mashiach. Meaning that the Mount Sinai was indisputable. Even the enemies of the Torah, the enemies of Am Yisrael, knew that we received the Torah, knew that Hashem spoke to us. No one was an atheist. No one was atheist. Everyone understood that Am Yisrael got the Torah. Everyone understood that the miracles, it was in plain sight. Millions and millions of people witnessed it. So the evidence was clear. And what's going to happen at the time of Mashiach is going to be even more than that. So there's not going to be any doubts whatsoever of the Mashiach. And the Rambam in Ilchot Melachim says that in order for someone to fit the possibility of being the Mashiach, not only does he have to be from the lineage of King David, but he has to be someone that's dedicated to the Torah, someone that helps people, helps Jews get closer to the Torah, do tshuva. He has to fight the wars of God, and this means helping people do tshuva. It's fighting against heretics and and all types of people that go against the Torah. And then he's fit to be Mashiach, but not necessarily the Mashiach yet. When do we know if he's Mashiach? If he destroys the Amalek, if he brings the Bet HaMikdash, then we know he's Mashiach. But all of that is going to be through a process, and during that process, there's going to be a war called the War of Gog Magog. And if you want to know more about the War of Gog Magog, I have a whole lecture about it that we did. It's an 8.5-hour video, but only about, I would say, 3 hours of it. The first 3 hours are talking about this War of Gog and Magog. There's a lot of details in it and sources from the Torah. You could see it on my channel. Do you support the Zionist ideology? No Orthodox Jew supports the Zionist ideology that is against the Torah. Now, there is I don't know how many dozens of lectures that I've made that speak against Zionism, which is something that promotes atheism, communism, and is against the Torah and against the Jewish people. The founders of Zionism were the biggest anti-Semites. Herzl, he practiced Christianity and wanted to convert all the Jews to Christianity. And you see this from his journal and his letters that he wrote to the Pope. The Zionists hate Judaism. They're not part of Judaism. To ask an Orthodox Jew that's loyal to the Torah and helps people get closer to Hashem, if he supports Zionism, it means that you not only do not understand Zionism, but you also don't understand Judaism. So I would recommend you go to my YouTube page, type the word Zionism, and you can see literally dozens and dozens of lectures where I bring historical proofs and documentation of how Zionism is antithetical to Judaism. It's the enemy of Judaism. No different than Nazis. They were actually, Zionists were, many did dealings with the Nazis. So to ask, if I support Zionism means you don't understand either one. Now, as far as if they're asking me if I support the state of Israel, meaning a place in the world where the Jews live, and I want the Jews to continue living there, absolutely I want them to live there. But that has nothing to do with Zionism. That has to do with the Torah, that God gave us that land. It's ours, and that's it. Everything is His. He gave that to us, and that's it. As far as those that are trying to kill us, those that are trying to take things from us, those that are trying to destroy us, regardless of who they are, they're the enemies of all Jews. And anyone that thinks otherwise is mistaken. Israel relies on USA to survive. Absolutely not. The Jewish people survived well before the United States even existed, and will survive beyond the United States' existence. If you're talking about the political situation that's there in modern-day Israel, that part, and the dealings that they have between the the Zionist government of Israel and and America, that's not the Jewish people. That's simply politicians. Some of them call themselves Christians. Some of them call themselves Israelis, Jews, or they call themselves communists. I don't care what they call themselves, but neither one represents the Jewish people. The Jewish people are Jews based on what the Torah says. And as far as the relationship between the United States and Israel, it'll surprise you how much benefits America gets from Israel as a result of that relationship. And you'd be surprised, but there's actually even more benefits to America than there is to Israel from the relationship they've had with Israel. And if you simply want proofs, look no further than your phone, the microchip in your computer, the software that you use to run the vast majority of technology in the world, the medicines you have, a lot of the things that were developed at Microsoft, Intel, IBM, these were developed in Israel. The elevation of much of the technology in the army of America was developed in Israel. So yes, America has more money, more power, and they have a certain trade relationship with Israel. But don't think for a moment that America is giving handouts and is donating to Israel like there's some homeless kid waiting for charity. There's a whole lot of benefits that America gets out of the relationships that they have with Israel. Again, regardless of this, the Jewish people survived before modern day Israel. They survived before modern day America. They'll survive after both of them. They survived before they had an army. They'll survive after, because the survival of the Jews is a decree from God. He promised that no one will ever be able to wipe us out, that we will always survive. And that's why you saw the greatest civilizations, most powerful civilizations, much stronger than what America is today, try to destroy the Jewish people. Whether it's the Assyrians, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans, the Nazis, the Spaniards, the Turks, literally all of the greatest, most powerful civilizations in history tried to destroy the Jews, yet all of those civilizations are gone, and the Jews are still here. Why? Because you can't delete God's promise. You can't delete God's decree. So, yes, there were times that, we were down, that we were being murdered, and still happening now, but that's all because God decreed that that's going to happen also. As far as why, there are times of prosperity and there's times of horrible decrees. That's what we have the Torah for. He tells us when we follow the law, we follow the Torah, good things will happen to us. When we don't, when we violate it, bad things will happen to us. But it has nothing to do with America. America is just simply the new civilization in the world that could choose to either be good or could choose to be the next Nazi Germany. That all depends on what people make a choice. They could either choose to be a beneficiary of the Jews, and just like all of the other civilizations that went against us, many of them got benefits from us. Egypt was built by Jews. It's in the Torah. Yosef HaTzadik, he empowered Egypt. He saved them from complete annihilation. He saved them from famine. He saved them, and not only saved them, he built them, became completely, the world power as a result of Yosef HaTzadik. Babylon was empowered because of the work of the Jews. Rome, many of the things, the Colosseums, the buildings that you see in Rome today, they were built by Jews. It was built by Jews. America, the America that perhaps you live in America, guess what? Look up the financiers that saved America. They were Jews. In fact, some of the loans that these Jewish people gave to America to help them win the war, they never paid back. So, people that say, America. Yeah, listen, America does a lot of things that are good and positive, and they give us religious freedom more or less. In some cases, even more than what they do in Israel. No problem. But America benefits too. Spain benefited too. Germany benefited too. Babylon benefited too. All of these countries benefited too. Eventually, they said that they just want the benefit and they don't want us. They kicked us out. And guess what? Every country that kicked us out, after they kicked us out, they thought that they're going to get even greater benefit. But to their dismay and surprise, they were literally destroyed after we left. Spain was a world power while the Jews were there. After the Spanish Inquisition, Spain became a nothing, and still is a nothing till this day, in comparison to what it was back then. Germany was top world power when the Jews were flourishing there. After the Holocaust, Germany never recovered. Yes, it's better today than it was, let's say, 30, 40 years ago, but it's not the same Germany. Economically, it has certainly improved drastically, but it's not a world power anymore in comparison anywhere near to what it used to be. And it'll never have the blessings that it had in the past. So you have to understand the big blessings that the America has gotten over the last 100 years especially has been as a result of them welcoming Jews into America. Now, as far as the whether they stay this way or they join the enemy list like all the other civilizations before them remains to be seen. But don't think for a moment that America is the reason why the Jews exist in the world or Israel exists in the world. You're sadly mistaken. It's a complete mistake. What are your thoughts about a Jew making Aliyah? Is it incorrect or should we wait for Mashiach? Making Aliyah has nothing to do with Mashiach. Making Aliyah has to do with your life now. Number one, is this a family decision or are you forcing your family to do it? Meaning that if you go to Israel, you're going to get a divorce as a result of it? If that's the case, don't go to Israel. Number two, is your Torah observance and study going to improve as a result of going to Israel or deteriorate? If it's going to deteriorate, then don't go. Three, do you have the ability to make a living over there? Or you're relying on some type of miracle where you're going to abandon your high-paying job over here and you're simply hoping that God gives you a miracle and you're able to live the same standards over there. If that's the case, then don't go. So again, I have a few lectures about the topic. One of them is called Should All Jews Make Aliyah? And I think the other one says All Jews Should Make Aliyah. Both of them are about the same topic. And it talks about what is the Da'at Torah about whether someone should make Aliyah or not. Some people certainly should, and some people certainly should not. If you're doing it because you think that Mashiach is going to come and that's going to give you front row tickets, it's complete mistake. There's going to be some people that live literally and even go to the Kotel that will be the first ones to be destroyed. And then there are some people that live far away from Israel that will be on the front lines next to the Mashiach. Because it's whether Mashiach is going to help you or not has nothing to do with your location. It has to do with your actions. What are you doing wherever you are? What do I think about the reforms, and is it a good idea to marry one? Well, Reformed Jews are Jews that declare that they do not believe that the Torah is from God. They think it's man-made, and therefore they are considered heretics. Many people that call themselves Reformed Jews are not even Jewish. one of the most popular Reform rabbis, is not only not a male, but a female, but it's also not a Jew. It's an Asian woman that calls herself a rabbi. So Reform has nothing to do with Judaism. And it's simply a bunch of people that reformed the Torah into a new religion that they still like to call Judaism, but it's not Judaism. So to go and marry someone that has distorted and changed the Torah and continues to do so every day to the point where they celebrate the bar mitzvah that we consider holy. It's the day that a Jewish man, a Jewish boy becomes a man. It's a significant day. But the Reform give bar mitzvah to dogs, meaning they believe that dogs should be treated the same as humans. And if anyone thinks that dogs are on the same level of humans, perhaps they should go to a shelter of dogs and live among the dogs for a little while, and perhaps ask themselves if they still feel that way after a week. So when people take different customs and laws from the Torah and they disgrace them in such a way, then you realize that not only should you not support them, but in fact they should be on the top of your spiritual enemies. And if you want to marry one, that's like asking, should you marry Hitler? Should you marry, Osama bin Laden? Should you marry, one of the psychopaths of today? Should you marry someone that's an enemy of God? I think that even the people that don't like you will still tell you no. Needless to say, people that do like you are going to tell you no. Hashem has not given Israel to the Jews yet. He gave it to us already at the time of the Torah. He never took it back. AI Rabbi, yes, that's the app that we have. It's an amazing app that any question that you have about Torah and Jewry, you can ask the app and it'll give you the answer and the sources. Some of the sources are different text books that you could look up. Some of them are lectures where I speak about it. You go to AI Rabbi on the App Store, or you could go to the website, airabbi.org, and you could download the app and subscribe and ask questions. It's the people that use it, literally, it's many of them have told me it's transformed their life. It's that good. There's no prophet in the Torah called Ahmed. That's only in the man-made Quran that came 1400 years ago. Which is about 2,000 years after we received the Torah. So there's no Ahmed in the Torah. The Talmud is the devil's book. Well, that simply means a few things. Number one, you don't know what the Talmud is. You've never read through it. Perhaps you looked at some excerpts that were misinterpreted and mistranslated and manipulated that you saw online, but you've never read the actual Talmud. Number two, you don't actually understand what the devil is either. And number three, you don't actually understand the significance of a book versus a sefer. So it's sad that you're ignorant, but it's even sadder that you're publicizing your ignorance, because at least if you didn't publicize it, people wouldn't know how ignorant you are. You're bringing shame to your family and anyone that cares about you. No, I don't teach Kabbalah publicly, no. What do I think about Benjamin Netanyahu? He's a politician that is interested in whatever is going to benefit him. He cares less about the Torah or Judaism. He employs Christian missionaries, and he does whatever is going to fit his agenda. He has nothing to do with Torah Jewry or supporting Jews. He just cares about himself. Can someone convert to Judaism? Absolutely. There are 36 places in the Torah where Hashem says how much He loves people that convert to Judaism, and how they are considered special and beloved, and they get special protection. So certainly, a person can convert to Judaism. Why was Chassidut opposed in the early stages? Is it good to follow a particular stream today or stay away from the labels of particular streams? Chassidut was opposed by some Chachamim, like the Gaon Vilna, because it was viewed as something that some of the followers of it are not going to understand. Meaning there are certain teachings in Chassidut that could easily be misunderstood and misinterpreted into a form of heresy or idolatry. And some Chachamim opposed their understanding of Elokut, of godliness. And on the other end, time has shown that certainly there are extremely beautiful things that have come from Chassidut. There's extraordinary tzaddikim that have come from Chassidut. That even those that oppose them would agree that these people are righteous and they're extraordinary Torah scholars and they're great people. Well, at the same token, there's also been many problems that have come from Chassidut, such as all the messianic things that are happening with the Chabad in the last 30 years, or the recent developments from the heretics like Manis Friedman and those that copycat him, that say God needs you, all types of fake forms of Chassidut. So certainly there's been problems, certainly there's been great things, but at the same token there's been problems everywhere and great things everywhere in the world of Torah. So we don't go into the wars of the Torah giants and pick a side. We know that they are giants, they knew what they were doing. At the same token, there's the Torah giants of later years explain to us, what we have a opinion about, what we have no right to have take any sides. Do you have to follow Chassidut? No. If you are a Sephardi Jew, then you follow Sephardi Judaism. If you're Ashkenazi, follow Ashkenazi. If you're a Hasidish, then you follow Hasidish. There's no pros and cons. It's whatever you are. It's whatever you are. Go with that. There's no need for a person to change who they are to be something that they're not just because they think it's better. If you're a Sephardi Jew, be a Sephardi Jew. That's it. If you're Ashkenazi, be Ashkenazi. If you are part of Chassidut, that's fine too. That's great too. There's beauty in Torah in every aspect. It's just make sure that you're following what the Shulchan Aruch says and not the heretics say. You have to follow what Shulchan Aruch, that all of Am Yisrael follows the Shulchan Aruch. I saw the trailer for The Great Escape, The Final Warning is very powerful. Well, the actual film is out. It's about 15 minutes. You can watch it. It's on my channel. It's Rabbi Ephraim's channel. Can I wear a chain in a community where it is accepted? Depends what kind of chain. If the chain is of some type of immorality or of some type of idolatry, then no. But if the chain is just simple chain, you want to wear it, sure, wear the chain. Can no hide wear a Star of David necklace? Do you recommend it? Can they? Yes. Should they? I don't know. I mean, why? What are they trying to represent? Are they trying to represent that they're a Jew when they're not? Are they trying to represent that they support Israel? Are they trying to represent that they simply like the way Star of David looks? What's the purpose behind it? Do you still sponsor people for conversion? Are you willing to be somebody's Rav? If so, can one properly and respectfully express our interest and establish a working relationship? As far as sponsoring people for conversion, it's really only people that already I've been dealing with for several years and that live next to me, meaning they live in South Florida. If you live in other places, you live in New York, you live in different places, I can't sponsor you. You have to find a local rabbi to do that. I could certainly guide you. You could ask me questions, and whenever I can, I could answer those questions as long as you're patient and reasonable, and you don't send me, a Megillah every time you send me a text message. You send me a long story. You send something quick and simple. No problem. I have no problem answering questions regardless of where you're located. But if you need an actual sponsor, you'd have to live near me, and I would have to get to, know you over a period of time. It's not a 1, 2, 3 thing, but do I still do it? Yes. But the thing that has changed over the years is that there were some people that I sponsored that lived in different places. I don't do that anymore. It's just too difficult. And there's other solutions, meaning they could find somebody else to sponsor them. I'm not the only one that deals with it. But as far as learning from me, the lectures are free, and you could ask questions whenever you want. Quite frankly, I think with the AI rabbi that we have made available to the world, even the questions are not really necessary most of the time. Between the lectures and the AI rabbi, the overwhelming majority of your questions could be answered by one of them. Is a chain considered female jewelry? In some people's opinion, yes, and other people's no. But I think that again, it depends what kind of chain, why. You're not going to find a big Talmid Chacham wearing a chain, a big tzaddik wearing a chain. You're not going to find out usually. So, who do you want to emulate? Who do you want to look like? So you have to ask yourself those questions. It's not forbidden. You can wear it if you want. It's just, what's your reason behind it? Rabbi, do you recommend the AI rabbi? Yeah, there has plenty of information for anyone that wants to learn about every aspect of the Torah, whether it's the laws of Noach or it's the laws of the Torah. It's available to answer you in countless languages. We have many people from all walks of life that, both Jews and non-Jews, people that are in conversion, people that have converted, Hasidim, Ashkenazim, Sephardim, people in Hebrew, people in German, and many languages, Spanish, have subscribed and love the app. It's an amazing app. It's an amazing app. So yeah, I highly recommend it. We're spending a fortune on it on a regular basis, so I'm not going to spend all that money on it if I don't like it. I use it myself, so. Next, this issue came up where a company offered $100 to anyone who could hack a phone. A 15-year-old did, and they refused to pay. Okay, and this is not the first time that a company lied. The Chazon Ish said that today's Rashaim are basically Tinukot Shenishbu, and we should treat them with love. Can you explain this stance? It's completely not true. you're misunderstanding what Tinok Shenishba means. You're misunderstanding what the Chazon Ish meant. He's not referring to people that are driving to shul as Tinokot Shenishbu. He's not referring to people that are enemies of the Torah, that are doing everything to destroy the Torah as Tinokot Shenishbu. He's not referring to people that are distorting the Torah as Tinokot Shenishbu. He's talking about people in his generation where they literally barely knew that they were Jewish, and if they knew they were Jewish, they did not know how to even practice Judaism. The world is very, very different than it was at the time of the Chazon Ish, and the average Jew out there has, been at shul at least a few times in their life, if not more, has celebrated their bar mitzvah or bat mitzvah or brit milah, or has attended one, knows that Shabbat exists, knows that Torah exists. So to say that somebody's a Tinok Shenishba is very, very difficult to say, and that's what Rabbi Vadia and the overwhelming majority of the poskim, in history, including in today's generation, do not believe that you could just call everybody a Tinok Shenishba. It's simply not true. Even according to the Chazon Ish, if you studied the series we have, the Jewish Ashkafa, with us, which is based on the Chazon Ish's book, you'll see that people are misunderstanding and misinterpreting what he said in regards to Tinok Shenishba. You could see it from his book, what he meant. So it's to just think everybody that drives on Shabbat is Tinok Shenishba, or everybody that decides that God doesn't punish is Tinok Shenishba, just simply nothing that the Chazon Ish ever said, and to say such a thing is not only a mistake, it could even be considered Lashon Hara, a Shem Ra on Chazon Ish. It's simply not what he said. Now, I'm not saying that you're saying Shem Ra, I'm just simply saying that the people that are saying that are making a mistake. That's a... The company promised $100,000 if somebody could hack the phone, and they didn't, and now they're going to Beit Din. Do the company have to pay? I'll have to know a lot more information, but in this case, there's no need for me to get any more information. They are going to go to a Beit Din, and the Beit Din is going to do the work to find out whether they really do have to pay or they don't have to pay. It's not a question that is a 1, 2, 3 answer. You have to know a lot more information. Is it wrong of me to think that Eretz Yisrael is Hashem's, as is all the world? No, everything is Hashem's. I don't really understand the difference between everything is Hashem's, including you. What's the Okay, we'll take another question from Facebook now. We did enough from YouTube and TikTok. When a person becomes overwhelmed and weak, is that a sign of lack of emunah? Where should such a person focus his study most? It feels overwhelmed and weak. Why? It doesn't necessarily mean that you have a lack of emunah if it's something physical, but if you mean overwhelmed by their problems, they have anxiety, then certainly there's a lacking of emunah. It doesn't mean they have no emunah. It doesn't mean that they're a bad person. It certainly means that they need to improve it. As far as where should a person focus their study, it depends where they are in their life. If they are someone that has already, studied the Talmud multiple times, and they have a certain level of study. If there's somebody that never even studied the Talmud, that's a certain level of study. If there's somebody just starting out, they have a different level of study. If there's somebody that's not even Jewish, but they're in the process of conversion, they have a different level of study. So it's saying where should a person focus most of their study, it's not a one size fits all. What does the Chafetz Chaim mean when he says uninterrupted Torah? And can a goy ever attain this? Uninterrupted Torah is someone that is connected to the Torah in every single aspect what they're learning without any type of distraction, not physical, not spiritual. They're completely cleave themselves to the Torah and to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. It's a different level of people call it, it's not focus, it's a beyond focus. And no, a goy can never get it. Okay, I think I've answered most. Can Esav ever be forgiven? Esav already died. There's no forgiveness for Esav. People that are descendants of Esav could certainly become righteous. We have even Rabbi Meir Balanes was a descendant of Esav. Rabbi Akiva came from converts that were descendants of Esav. So righteous people have come from the descendants of from Esav, his descendants that have converted and become righteous people. But Esav himself, no, Esav is wicked, died wicked. That's it. There's no forgiving after death. Where in the Torah does the mention Kafakela and reincarnation? Countless places. I have an entire 4.5-hour lecture about Kafakela, which has, over 100 sources in it, whether it's from the book of Samuel or other places. There's plenty of places that Kafakela and reincarnation is mentioned. Plenty of places. Okay, Rabotai, thank you very much for learning with me. Like I said, anyone that wants to donate and join us in this extraordinary mission that we have to feed over 18,000 Jews, families of Torah scholars in Eretz Yisrael for this Pesach. We have the campaign on. You could find it on our website. You could find it posted on our Facebook page, on our WhatsApp page. If you benefit from our lectures, from the books, from the guidance that you get, I expect you to donate. I expect you to donate because if you're benefiting from all the work that we do and you do not contribute, that means you're an ungrateful person. And I would prefer that I don't have any ungrateful students. I prefer that I have only grateful people, even though everybody can improve in gratitude. But if a person is benefiting from everything we've done and is still not willing to share that and to help that it means that they're not really learning from us, and perhaps we're not the vessel for you. You should go somewhere else. But if you're going to learn and you're going to apply it to your life, then even if it's one step at a time, certainly you should be growing over time and you should be doing more and more good things. And if you're not, you should ask yourself why. But B'ezrat Hashem, we expect everyone to B'ezrat Hashem continue learning, growing with us, and for all of these campaigns to continue, get bigger and bigger, so we can help more and more people, so we can help more Torah be publicized in the world, so we could defeat more of the enemies of the Torah, destroy more of the Amalekim out there, and B'ezrat Hashem publicize and glorify HaKadosh Baruch Hu's name in His Torah, and B'ezrat Hashem make a big Kiddush Hashem on a daily basis with each and every single one of those that are partners with us. So anyone that wants to donate could go to be'ezrathashem.org, could follow all of the different posters that we have that show where the campaigns are, and B'ezrat Hashem, we will continue to learn, succeed, and glorify Hashem's name. Kol tuv, b'cha v'atzlacha, and Shabbat Shalom to everyone. Kol tuv.